Oh,
Uh-oh.
oh,
Now
cool.
recording. All right.
Hello, I'm Luke, everybody. I'm from Michigan. My name is Luke.
Nice one, Luke. Very good introduction. I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
Luke
But
has a bad mic.
yeah, I was gonna say that Jerek wasn't in here until 22 seconds. Luke's mic is kind of dog shit.
Yeah, get used to it.
Yeah, I'm used to it. Don't worry.
They can hear me just fine. They love
can
me hearing me.
They love
These are
hearing
my
you.
fans.
Yeah, I
These
know
are
you got a
my
lot of
fans.
fans. You got a lot of fans. All right.
Yeah.
I guess we'll do a quick introduction because Luke already gave his name there. Luke, very well done.
Hi, I'm Luke. I have a lot of fans.
Got a lot of fans. All right. I'm Ryan. I have many more fans than Luke does. So
I'm Eric. I
Have no fans.
I have a moderate amount of fans.
a moderate amount of fans. Very good.
Just the right amount.
Very good. All right. So today's more of just like an introductory thing. Couple of topics that we're going to be talking about today, because we got big news right now, is Diddy's being arrested or whatever. I don't really fucking know what's going on there, but still interesting. Diddy being arrested. Luke, have you heard anything about Diddy? What do we know about Diddy right now? Also, I see
I heard he was sleeping with some of the rappers.
He's banging all the rappers, dude. Banging all the rappers. Yeah, it's been like a long time running thing where people are like, a lot of these big rappers are gay. I don't know if you guys heard the thing about like Jeffree Star and Kanye West are dating. That was the thing I was hearing for a while.
I did hear that.
Kanye, he's not gonna like that.
Kanye chest.
There's definitely a lot of rumors floating around, but I guess Diddy's fucked. I think his sons were arrested too. So
well, if the FBI is raiding you and they're looking for you all manhunt style, I think doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good. I thought he left the country and he was out.
I think people probably just wanted to like say a bunch of sensationalist stuff. I mean, it looks pretty bad, but like him escaping probably is just people trying to say crazy stuff to make it seem worse. I'm sure it's pretty bad, but him escaping is like next level stuff.
I thought he was out to Africa already. I don't know how like extradition actually works. Like if you make it to another country, if the U.S. calls him up and is like, "Get Diddy back here," if they
it depends if the country has an extradition treaty with the U.S. So he would go somewhere that doesn't have one, so they can't bring him back.
True,
but they got him. I thought he had a private jet. I thought he was leaving on a private jet, but I don't know. I guess they intercepted him before he could get to the plane.
If I was him, I'd go to Dubai. It's where you always go when you escape.
I guess. I mean, I feel like I would go to a Southeast Asian country, but
well, we already knew that.
Well, Succession. Logan went to Serbia, I think, or whatever.
For all my fans out there, just letting you guys know, I will be doing a trip to Thailand. I will be blogging about it. Luke will not be invited. Hookers will be fucked. Ladyboys will be entertained. So Luke's not going to be a part of that. He's going to have no fun. He'll have to watch from a distance as the ladyboys surround me.
I'm going to go Diddy on all of them.
Oh, I'm going to go Diddy on all those ladyboys. Are you kidding me? I'm going to be punching them and shit. Nah, I'm just kidding. I treat my ladyboys real nice.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's terrible and disgusting.
What is terrible and disgusting, Luke?
That you would punch a ladyboy.
That I would punch a ladyboy? But what if
That's horrible.
What if the beautiful woman ladyboy did something bad to me?
Nah, they're off limits, buddy.
They're off limits.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they're ladies.
Because they're ladies. You don't punch women.
Yeah. Unless they deserve it.
They're ladies.
I guess that brings us to a little bit of a different topic. Do you think there's any situation where it's okay for a man to strike a woman?
That's a good topic, man.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to strike a woman if she's like, attacking you.
What if it's that clip we watched the other day of the fat guy who's like, well, you're gonna meet Jesus, and his wife like gave all his money like to her, like little fling guy.
Yeah,
What about that?
He shouldn't kill her.
You think one slap across the mouth is
warranted?
Fair? Is that fair? One punch?
I mean, it like legally, no. I mean, the way
No,
to do
I'm
it
not
would
talking
be
about.
to,
I'm obviously not talking about legally, right?
like
But
I wouldn't do it. But like I can see why someone would be so mad in that situation, but I don't think it's right. I don't think you need to go to that level. You just call the cops or you go to a lawyer or whatever and finish it that way.
I don't know. For me, I feel like to a certain degree that I think that a certain level of vigilantism is acceptable in certain cases. In that case, I don't know.
The thing is, once you go down to that level, you're not able to like really take as much recourse. Like you make yourself look bad.
I guess that's true. If we're talking about this in a strictly serious manner, yeah. Don't punch him. Just get as much evidence as you can and go to court.
Vigilantism is cool, but it's all good and fun until you get caught.
Well, it's on the opposite spectrum of that is like, imagine if somebody like killed your family members, then the police show up and the guy walks free, and then the police are
going some fluke or some shit, yeah.
And and the police are watching you closer than they're watching the criminal,
Right.
And you're like, Jesus Christ. Can you imagine being in that situation?
Oh, it'd be infuriating.
I could not do that. I don't know. I don't.
I am amazed that there's not more people just going, I'm killing this guy. He killed my wife. I'm going to kill him. Like,
I don't know what the stats are.
More of that.
But I feel like there definitely are more violent crimes going on. That's my feeling. But Jerek, I think Jerek, you were the one saying that there's less violent crimes.
Yeah, violent crimes are down and have been going down.
Oh, God, I don't know about that.
What do you mean, Luke?
I don't know. I'm just being honest. I don't know if I believe all that. Like, I don't know.
Okay, Jerek, do you want to give us a source?
Are these FBI stats or are these like?
Yeah,
It says Vox.
No, it's
Vox.
FBI.
Jerek gets all his news from Vox.
If it's FBI, I'm more leaning towards trusting it, but.
I don't know, dude. Have you walked the streets of Michigan lately? It's dangerous. It's dangerous. And I
believe it.
Jerek, yeah. Have you never felt any dangerous situations? Have you been in New York City and been like threatened or anything?
I don't go to the bad parts. Of course, there will always be bad parts of cities, but that's also not indicative of the greater statistics of like thousands and thousands and thousands of cases. Just because of how you feel about something and how it's portrayed in the media, of like, they're sensationalizing it every single time of when something bad happens. Of course, it's going to feel like it's going on.
But I think that general statistics are not exactly indicative of everybody's experience. I think that a lot of people, like we're living in Lansing, Michigan. I've had many situations where I'm going, this guy, there's a random guy starts yelling at me. He could have a gun, and I'm going, fuck. I actually gotta like start walking faster, just to maybe even run a little bit.
Yeah,
of course.
That's one city that you've talked about has not a good neighborhood.
Yeah, but I lived there for 4 years, and literally every single year, the amount of situations that I would be in where I was physically threatened or called out for being a white guy or some shit like that, it increased every single year. Like the first year I lived there, I didn't really have that many problems. There were a couple of homeless guys that approached me and were like kind of crazy guys grumbling some threatening stuff. I'm not really that scared of them. They're old, decrepit. And every year there would be more bullshit. There'd be just more and more bullshit. Which I'm not saying that means that crime is going up everywhere, but I think it's possible that the FBI statistics are saying crime's going down in like the suburbs and generally going down, but the places where crimes have been happening, I think it might be increasing in those areas.
I guess. I mean, in some places.
I mean, millions
of
undocumented people are coming over, so, and they're all like basically like fighting age, like male fighting age. So.
Oh, do you think that that's having a large impact on the crime rate?
I don't know, but I mean, it is millions of people that are like, we don't know who they are, where they're from, and they're all males of like fighting age. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was like some sort of increase in crime due to that.
But I feel like a lot of those people would want to kind of go under the radar. I feel like immigrants are extra time.
That is literally just the people just trying to fearmonger about immigrants. Immigrants are a lot less likely to commit crimes. Just because you hear like an immigrant is, did a crime or whatever, and it just gets sensationalized in the media to make people hate immigrants more. But statistically, they just want to keep their heads down. And they're not
for the most part, probably, but most people aren't criminals either. Most people aren't criminals either.
Yeah, for the most part. That means a lot lower amount of them don't want to do any crime at all.
Yeah, I'm not blaming immigrants. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me if there was a spike in crime due to the immigration.
Yeah, but that's not happening. Violent crime is down.
I don't know.
You say you don't know, but that's what the FBI is saying. And you said that I'd be more inclined to think just because like you feel like the crime in Lansing has gone up does not mean the crime of thousands of cities across the country is indicative of the same thing.
Right.
Oh, sure.
Right.
I'm
just anecdotal.
Yeah, exactly. I'm only giving my experience, but it's kind of frustrating when I hear someone like you were saying that like violent crimes are going down, but I'm experiencing more exposure to possible violent crimes than I ever have in my life. It's just shitty to go outside and have to deal with these people and also people not talking about the fact that there are like dangerous people who are racistly targeting white people. I would have laughed if somebody told me. I would have laughed if somebody told me that 3 years ago. I'd been like, yeah, right, buddy. I'm sure it happens, obviously, but like on what scale? But now that it's happened to me, and more and more situations are occurring where someone's calling me out randomly. They're like, done nothing. I'm walking down the street. I'm literally just walking down the street, and black guys are yelling at me, going, "You piece of shit, you motherfucker, you white bitch." And I'm just standing here going, "What what is going on? What is going on?" So for me, I definitely feel like violent crimes might be going down, but my exposure to them has definitely been going up, and that's from being in the city.
In Lansing.
Yeah, in Lansing, but I've experienced that other places as well.
Yeah, of course. If you're in a bad area, of course.
No. Well, Ann Arbor, right?
Yeah.
I was at a bar, minding my own business. I was wearing a suit and a snapback. I look kind of douchey. And I went up to the bar to get a drink, and an Indian guy next to me, probably a student at U of M. It's a nice liberal campus, right? He starts going off that I shouldn't be there because I'm white and that I'm rich. I'm some rich white asshole. And he's rambling about this, and I'm like, who are you talking to? And he's like, I'm talking to you, asshole. And he's literally saying that shit to me and calling me like a white piece of shit. And I was already kind of drunk at this point, and the bartender even came over and looked at the situation and accused me of causing it. Just because Indian guy, white guy looks like he's in a frat or something. And then of course the bartender later on apologized, and they kicked the other guy out once they saw listened to more like what he was saying and berating me. But in the first 5 minutes, I was the villain. I was the victim and the villain simultaneously, instantly. Okay.
Yeah, that's not violent crime. That's just people being stupid.
Well, it's indicative of it happening, right? Imagine if this guy easily could have thrown a punch on me based on what he was saying.
Why is it indicative of it happening?
A guy calling me out for being a white piece of shit. Usually, when people get aggressive verbally, that can lead to physical altercations. Now,
yeah, but not all the time. It's
especially
just that one random occurrence or whatever. Even if you think it's not just the anecdotal evidence over the greater.
But if I was black, you'd be
thing of
taking it more seriously. If it was a guy coming up to me and I was black and he was like, "You black piece of shit," you'd be taking it more seriously now.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, and that what I'm saying is that you're quickly dismissing this as like a one-off. But if the context was a little bit different, you'd be like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, that's an issue."
It isn't. It is an issue if some people are just profiling you and just coming up to you and starting shit. No one. That's just not right.
Yeah, that's shitty.
General.
That's shitty. That's shitty. But what I'm getting at here is that like when I brought it up, you were saying that this is like a one-off.
I'm saying it's anecdotal evidence that doesn't pertain to anything in general of a larger pattern. It can't be used as a larger pattern other than just anecdotal evidence. It's not as admissible enough.
Sure, I'm not saying that there's like so much data backing up white racism, but I definitely think there's definitely a surge, right? There's definitely a surge of people going, fuck white people.
Right.
I certainly think that's happening. You disagree with that?
Especially men too. I mean, come
on. Do I think that? I'm sure that there's black people who feel like they experience a lot of racism, and they probably have, and they get into their own mindset of they should attack white people because they were attacked, which is obviously the wrong idea because it just makes a cycle of hatred between them. But I think a large amount of them also just they don't care about race. Obviously,
I think a lot of them have never had any of those experiences, to be honest.
Well, again,
never actually had that racist experience. I bet they're more just like some guy, and then for the rest of his life he goes, and that day, he said that word to me.
Well, I think that we can say that in. I don't disagree with Luke. It's okay. I think that we can also address that as well. I think that saying the N-word is perfectly acceptable in the context of not meaning it. Not like if you're quoting somebody or talking about it, like
in that.
This isn't exactly. This isn't Harry Potter. We don't have to say "he who shall not be named." Like that it's absurd, I think. But obviously, certain people feel offended by that word, and that's not anybody's intention, right?
Bleep it out.
To offend somebody. Maybe we should bleep it out. All right, I'll try to do that. I'll try to do that. I've never done that before.
Whatever.
But I'll try to do that. Yeah, I'll put in a better expletive.
Yeah.
People just also just take the sound of that particular part out.
What were you talking about? How Ryan's been racially attacked?
I don't think it's particularly right for us to say what another person has experienced in their life because we can't assume that.
Sure, but we have our own. They have their own anecdotal experiences, right. And I have mine. Like 5th grade. I go into class. Good friend of mine. We'll only use first names here. Kyle and me are hanging out, and a black girl in our class accuses Kyle of racism because she asked him out and he said no. And she told everybody in the school. She told the principal. She told our teachers, and I was just flabbergasted. I was whatever, 12, 11.
Yeah, that's not right. But it's also not indicative of a giant other racial issue. Like racism doesn't even just have to be like you're calling someone a bad word. Racism could be like how you're where you live or how.
But I think microaggressions are bullshit. I think microaggressions are bullshit.
Like made up microaggressions where you're saying that you're racist to get to like saying that he was racist
to
because
disenfranchise somebody. Yeah, it's a retaliatory act.
Yeah, that's not right, obviously. I mean, I'm thinking any normal person would agree with that.
But majority of the time when I was dealing with people who were claiming racism through elementary school, middle school, and high school, about half the time the people were just saying that because they were either losing an argument or they felt like they were slighted. And they knew that they could use that as a bludgeon to disenfranchise the other person.
That was the whole
it really
thing.
just devalued the whole idea of racism for me. Like constantly seeing, like not seeing anybody that is like clearly being racist, but I just felt like the whole idea of like a racist was really disenfranchised because there wasn't, overall wearing, N-word yelling, shotgun toting white guys around me. It was just like regular people. Right. Yeah, and then when somebody felt like they were kind of like insulted, not through racism, they would just say racism.
Yeah, but just because someone was bad about did that and did a stupid thing doesn't mean that racism just doesn't happen.
And that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, but like that's kind of what Luke is alluding to. That racism just doesn't happen.
Because like what I'm basically saying is like across the board for the most part, that didn't happen.
Yeah, that racism doesn't happen, and
and also it's like how you react to it as well. Like it's not something. What I'm saying, ultimately, my opinion is that it's not something that's going to like actually hold you back in this society. In fact, I think it actually behooves you. It's better for you to be a minority in this society. So on average, it's actually kind of silly to be like, I'm a minority, so I have a very hard time at XYZ. That's actually not true because it's better to be one of them in this society.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's your opinion on it. I just don't agree with it.
I definitely think there are benefits there are situations where you can benefit from being a minority for sure. I definitely think like the whole I don't know how prevalent this is anymore but what is it? What do colleges do? What is it? Filling their quotas. Affirmative action. I think there definitely is a little bit of an issue or was an issue with affirmative action. I don't know how much of a problem it is anymore.
Yeah, good for the Supreme Court. They didn't even bow to like the public, which is good.
But when I was in high school, we had kind of the opposite issue where my private school that I went to there's too many Asian students, and they did not want that. Too many students from China, Korea. I guess there might have been one or two from Japan. Either way, Asian students, specifically Koreans and Chinese students. There's too many of those students, and they weren't contributing to the school's like future through sports or through academic achievements. So the school really tried to have like a quota for white people. They're like, we gotta get at least 10 hockey guys. Sure. We gotta get at least 10 more. And it didn't really matter necessarily about race, but that's how it worked, is that the Chinese students didn't play the sports that these private schools were playing. Like if we had a good soccer team, that's cool. That would be good for our school. But the sports that we needed were basketball, lacrosse, hockey. Those are the sports that we needed people in. And I don't think lacrosse is a big sport in Asia. So our school definitely had a quota for white people. Like they were like, please, dude, we'll fucking reduce tuition. Hilarious. Like, please. Because when other athletes show up, or families show up and they see the school and it's like 90% Chinese, they're like, my son's not fucking playing hockey on this team. Like, that's how it was working. But I think once I got to college, I definitely thought that there was a lot more foreign students, or there was definitely I could see a quota happening where they were like, we want to be diverse because it's good for us. It looks good.
Funny.
I don't know. What about you in college, Jerek? Did you have any or classes on that?
Basically, I mean, a lot of what I saw was like a lot of like companies and shit like that. Like if you have a more diverse company, generally those companies do what more
diverse of thought type of thing.
No, they're more successful in general.
Well,
they make
that's
more
what
money.
I mean.
They do better. They last longer.
Is that companies that have more diverse employees have better overall output of new ideas or something like that? That was an idea that was pushed in some of my like psychology classes or.
I mean, yeah, but also
classes.
just like just like all metrics, they just do better. They make more money. They last longer. Everything like that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Companies that are more diverse.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that diversity is specifically. I had classes where we talked about something very similar.
I've never really actually heard that expressed out loud like that.
And when it came down to it, the bottom line for why in my classes, anyways, was simply that having people, and it's not just like racial diversity. You know, it's also having somebody from the Midwest and having somebody from Deep South. Just having diverse people creates larger differences of thought, creating more ideas. When you bounce that off each other, it produces
total pseudoscience.
A wider range.
That's like so unmeasurable. I don't even.
This was just pseudoscience. This was just something that was in our communications classes. That groups that are highly diverse, that is their strong
point. Like at 2 people, or at like 100 people, or like 10,000 people.
A group, whatever you want to constitute that as.
Because even that's why also.
If you want to vehemently disagree with that, I think that's illogical to do.
Doesn't sound like
I'm just saying. I'll let Jerek handle it. It's good, Jerek, if you want to.
So people who
we can like make up any rationale
more cities, or like they have a more.
But go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, but it's just bad. It's just how it is.
Well, I'll explain. I think there's a perfectly rational reason for why that's a logical thought process, right?
So, let's say you're in cities or whatever, or people that live in diverse areas.
So diverse just means better.
When you have a lot of different. No, so because people are able to see all different kinds of cultures or whatever,
about a lot of stuff.
Your opinion of like how cultures is just wrong, or whatever.
Hey, this culture like cuts out children's eyeballs. Like,
yeah,
is it better to have them in there too? Because by your logic, it is.
No, but you're making a straw man out of that argument. What I'm saying,
your idea. How about one side? How about one part of the society thinks that gang banging and murder is okay? Is that like better? Is that
no? Be more realistic, Luke. If you're gonna do that, be more realistic. Be more realistic.
No, because that's arguing in bad faith. So let me finish with the.
Okay, your real one was murdering children and gangbangs.
One of the groups.
What group of people believe in that?
Minorities are inferior and they're super racist. Is that a good idea to have in there?
Let me finish. So, when you have a diverse group, let's say you're in a white southern town or whatever that's really racist. You've never met a black person before, and then you go to college and then you meet black people, Asian people, all people from all these diverse places that you don't know about, and then you see these people and their culture and how they're like just normal people. You see how they grew up. Maybe you someone from Korea is there, and how they live is so much different. Oh, they go to a PC bong. Oh, their parents are so strict or whatever, as opposed to yours, who let you do whatever you want. You see all these different ideas of how people were raised, how they grew up. It's so different. You get different ideas. You see all these how people aren't all the same.
Yeah, like the concept itself.
All these
people are different. Diversity. Good concept, sure. Doesn't mean that diverse groups are just inherently better or make more money. That's a huge leap.
I'm not saying
really?
anything like that.
Okay. Well, that was the root of this.
No, I was saying that those are generally what I was talking about was having diverse means of thought. It doesn't even matter. Like, it could literally be, I work at a clothing company and my team is tall people and short people, so they understand that the benefits of having clothes that fit short people and tall people. It's not necessarily specifically a race thing, but think of it this way: if I'm working at a company and we run into a problem and I have five, let me finish. No, just listen to the logic of it. I have 5 guys that all came from the same hometown. They have the same upbringing. They have the same
level
experiences.
Of like 5 people, like, yeah, maybe that's actually reasonable.
2, we'll call a group 2 or more. I'll say 2 or more.
We're not, companies
it's very
are not
logical to think that 2 people,
like 10,000 people sometimes.
I know, that's why this is an analogy for those larger situations, right? Because that can apply to those companies. When you have a group of people that are different.
For 2 people,
let me finish. Let me just finish this one thing.
It's maybe reasonable, but it'd be hard to say.
Let's say let's say that we have a door in front of us. We have to design a door, and we have a team of whatever you want. 1.5 persons. All right, we'll make a crazy number for you because you're so stuck on this group thing being so important to the idea. When you have people that come from different places, they bring different ideas to the table and they bounce them off each other. Whereas people who are more similar generally tend to have ideas and think similarly. So when they come to solving problems, they don't exactly look for all the possible branches of ingenuity. When you have minds that come from different areas and different places, not necessarily race, this could be height, this could be size, this could be
wouldn't it be a better idea to make it more diverse?
No, you're talking about a task, not an idea.
So it's better to have more women and minorities in like brain fields.
In engineering fields for people, yes, but then when they go, hey, go lay the brick for the idea we made, they're not going, yeah, we want 10 blue-haired women and 7 Indian guys and 3 Mexican guys because their ideas are going to lay bricks better. No. But when we're talking about conceptual formations of ideas, having multiple people come from different walks of life brings ideas that wouldn't have normally been thought by 10 guys from Texas, 10 white guys from Texas. There's just a lot of benefits in terms of bouncing ideas and having diverse thoughts.
I don't even know if that's
diverse of skin color. I feel like that is it's illogical to refute that at a surface level, to say that different people with different ways of thinking coming together, working on a plan. At a base level, that is what we stem ideas from. We take a base level idea and then we run with it, right?
Yeah, but even at a base level,
that's
only
how things work. At a base level, you want a taller guy playing basketball, right? This is how I feel like you're trying to argue against something that is so basic in logic.
Why is it so basic? Basically, makes sense.
Okay, we have a problem and we can't really figure out the solution. Let's get 10 guys that all did the same degree, that all look the same, that all came from the same place, and let's see what their ideas are.
The human mind is capable of putting itself in many different situations, right? So let's say one of those, would you say white guys? You said white guys, okay. One of those white guys really reads a lot of books about the historic oppression of black people.
And then another guy reads a different book. That's diversity. That's diversity.
Wouldn't he cover all the bases on if we're being racist or not? Or if our ideas don't touch those areas? Why does somebody need to have I've experienced racism, so I can be in this place? It just doesn't make sense.
What?
You're basically saying it because people have had different experiences in life, right?
For the audience, if anybody is listening to this, just remember that Luke is smoking a yurt in the car.
That's
so
untrue.
He's finished the yurt. He's finished the yurt.
Dirty lie.
He's finished the yurt.
It's a slanderous, libelous lie.
He's smoking big doinks and Amish and going, wait, having multiple people with different ideas is not good for solving problems. We want the same fucking idea run on repeat.
Capable of complex thought and like putting itself in different situations, right? Like I don't have to be
okay.
a
If you take
person
it,
of a certain group to know how that group feels about something. Honestly,
and they better be white.
so you don't think that maybe having like why isn't everybody the same then, Luke? Why aren't like all the most successful people? Why aren't they all from one singular place? Why aren't they? Why are like successful people, not like just the same? Why are they not literally all the same person? Because that's what I'm hearing from you is that minds are so innovative. Like we can just take a handful of people from. Why do we have diverse ideas coming together and creating success? Why is that like?
Well, there's definitely like
thing?
patterns.
Why do we have people who come from India and they take ideas from India?
Probably not the exact same formula every single time, but there are probably like some pretty similar formulas that have been prosperous over time for sure.
All right, wait, we've gone over our time limit, so we'll do closing statements.
Thank you.
If you'd like to lead us with a closing statement.
You agree with me on everything. Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay, very good. Jerek, do you have a retort or something you want to give a little kiss on the mouth?
I would say let's leave it to all of the statistics and studies that have been done on how diversity is helpful generally. Yes, there's a lot of anecdotes and a lot of, instances where people are, not inherently amazing to white people, but it's not indicative of diversity being bad.
Okay.
And diversity is good. We should get more ideas, and when you live with a bunch of different races, it's you learn more about each other.
Very true. Boo! Libtard. Yeah, so we've got if the audience hasn't realized, we have left leaners, we got right leaners, and we got myself, who's the king of moderates, king of rational, sane thought in the middle. And diversity is an important part of our culture, but at the same time, there's a lot of problems with diversity that cause for maybe a little too much discourse on certain things, maybe a little too much disagreement. But at the end of the day, Luke's racist, Jerek's racist, so am I, baby. Have a good night.
I'm actually Jewish, so